It's too smart to ever learn. Too on fire to feel the burn of desires all around him. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore. It's not enough, it's not enough to fool yourself anymore.
How's it going, everybody? It's Sandwhichpants here today, and I know I'm a little bit late. I got some other stuff I had to do, but I'm here. I'm here for you all. So, not the right thing. That is not it. That is not what I wanted. All right. I need. All right. I got my mic set at a very specific thing. I could probably actually use my other mic. I have a dual mic setup now, y'all. That's right. I have the microphone that you're currently listening me to. And wait for it. Wait for it. I have this microphone as well. This is my secondary mic. This is the mic I actually started using when I got this PC. And if you notice, it's labeled lapel mic because it was a literal $12 mic. This thing actually sounds really good, so long as I can keep it in one position. And I mostly want to use it for other types of content that I may or may not do. I could bring this thing with me, have it made real short, and then use it on my phone. I could do like live streams IRL with this thing. Because the other microphone, I mean, you can't see it because I'm too broke to get a webcam or anything. But the microphone I've got right now, you can just Google blue snowball ice, and that will show you the microphone that I've got. And it's on a stand. It's kind of hard to take a boom stand, like an actual microphone stand, with you to places. So that's kind of what we're dealing with at this moment. But I do like this little lapel mic. I still have it for a reason. And I could do content from like my living room or whatever if I wanted to stream other kinds of games. I could set up my phone with the microphone. I could probably do that. Nah, there's not. I'd have to get a really odd converter to change my blue microphone from a USB to a 8mm like headphone jack that I could use to plug into this converter for a standard headphone jack to a fucking iPhone 10 headphone port that plugs into the damn iPhone charger because, you know, Apple sucks. That's something we're going to get into here in a minute. But this is all the lapel mic. So if you can hear this and it sounds good, just let me know if it sounds good because I like this little thing. And it is currently actually using, one second, let me. Okay, I had to mute because this thing is really fucking loud. But this program is actually what I'm using to make the mic sound as good as it is. It's literally just all the same settings as I have on my blue microphone, and it's also on my Realtek, uh, uh, which this thing isn't Realtek, but that's just what this thing registers as. So, let's actually get into the content. Let me get back to the blue microphone. Alright, I think this one sounds a little bit better, a little bit cleaner. It doesn't pick up all the fan noises that the lapel mic does. This is not what I want to focus on at this moment. But, oh yeah, that's right, I'm on the Streamlabs. Hopefully it doesn't crap out like it has for literally every other streamer that I know of. Been freaking out on everybody. So, let's go ahead and get started. We're gonna do here. We'll do the main segment in just a moment. Oh, I covered this. Yeah, I agree with this, by the way. No, 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 no. Kyle's gonna give out some bad takes. No, Destiny. The skeptics weren't right. Yeah, these Pete and Bass guys. Oh, man. Why is it recommending me fucking random shit? Okay, they'd be in here. Biden's. Okay, here we go. Okay. Biden tax plan would raise rate to 39.6 for people making at least 400,000. Okay. Alright. Tax bracket. 10%. 12%. Okay. So it's over 400,000. That's a fucking 2%. Right? 39.6? Yeah. That's a 2.6% increase on people in between these. Like, okay, so there's people who fit at this point that would fall into this category. Oh, okay, see, there's some flat numbers. Tax owed, $987.50 plus 12% of the amount owed over. So there's, yeah. So this would change a bit. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so you actually get all the information right here in the goddamn text. Ending step up in basis, which allows heirs to use the market value of assets at the time of inheritance rather than the actual purchase price, as the cost basis for capital gains when the holdings are sold would mean much higher tax bills for wealthy estates. Good. Congressional Democratic proposals have exempted a share of assets from tax. One Senate plan provides for $1 million, but the specifics of Biden's measure aren't yet clear. Biden's plan will include a top individual tax rate of 39.6 for those making at least 400,000, up from 37% today, according to the person who spoke on condition of anonymity, as the proposals aren't yet public. That could affect roughly 1% of taxpayers if current income thresholds apply. Okay. The person didn't say whether the 400,000 is also the figure for married couples or filing jointly. Probably higher. Yeah, see how it's 622,000? Or yeah, 600, anything over 622,000. And this is over 500,000, so this will probably be boosted up proportionally. We'll also include 80 billion to boost the IRS audit capabilities over the next decade for wealthy individuals and corporations, a change that could generate 700 billion in revenue according to the. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So this is the perfect way to lead into this particular segment. So what we've got going on here is we've got Biden increasing the top marginal tax rate and ending some inheritance things that would generate a large amount of money. Because under this system, it's by the way, it's capitalism. We have to understand that capitalism, its main goal, profit. So, what is capitalism? Well, we have two general principles. Actually, we'll do it this way. We have two general principles for capitalism. Oh, two ways to define it as an economic system. These both have to be met for it to be a capitalist system. Okay? Actually, I think all three of these would generally need to be met. You've got its main goal, which is profits. That's it. It's all it's concerned about. Generating more money. And the tenets that uphold this are private ownership of the means of production. So, privately owned businesses in today's sense, because the means of production back then were a little more hands-on and blah 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 blah, and now it's like factories and trucking fleets and all this other shit like that. So, you got private ownership of the means of production and generalized commodity production. And commodities are generally things that are made to be bought and sold for profit. That's a big point in capitalism. Generalized commodity production, and the biggest one is private ownership of the means of production. So, generalized commodity production is focusing on producing things more things for like leisure. Like there's more computer monitors, there's more couches, there's more shit that you don't necessarily absolutely need to sustain your livelihood. It's a bunch of things to entertain yourself and be leisurely, and we focus on producing that more than we focus on anything the fuck else. Because it's profitable. It's more profitable than anything. Now, we have socialism. So, what is the main goal? The main goal of socialism is equality. That's technically the main goal also. How do I don't know. Now, how can you define socialism? So it has two main tenets as well. Okay? Now it's a lot more complicated than this, but I'm reducing this down into very base points. So let's add a third here that works with the first one. That's a thing. Okay? Let's go over these. So the main goal is to achieve more equality within society, more freedom within society. And to do that, the recommendations, the prescriptions, the tenets of socialism are public ownership of the means of production, which changes the that just obliterates one of the main tenets of capitalism, meaning any system that has public ownership of the means of production, and by public I mean the people who work there own it, not here, well actually there. We will put that in to be a qualifier. Public ownership of the means of production is when people who work at the place own it, not when the government owns it and directs things, because that is more just state capitalism. But anytime that people own the place they work at, like everybody who participates there has a solid equal say, it can no longer, whatever system it is, it can no longer be called inherently capitalist. It can't, because you've abolished the private ownership of the means of production. You've abolished private ownership of business, which is the principal tenet under capitalism. Generalized commodity production just functions to generate profits, okay? That's it. That's what it is. And so under socialism, you've got, I mean, this is just really basic breakdowns. So the democracy at work ties into this. People who work at a place own it. They get an equal say. They get to vote on wages and shit like that. And it's democracy. So, I mean, there can be a minority that loses the vote. The deal there is you just kind of have to try and get some more of what you want in, if you can get enough people to agree on it. That's kind of the way it is. That's democracy. You don't get all the things you want. We're just going to simplify that for anarchism. Okay, so we have anarchism, with its main goal being freedom. Some of the main tenets Now, again, this is a huge oversimplification. It's kind of a synthesis. This is synthesizing a lot of the information that I have read about anarchism, and I could be wrong on some of this, so do some more of your own reading. But the way that I understand some of this, or what I've read, is that anarchism is about freedom, the ability to do as you please, without. It's essentially like the way that libertarians describe themselves. The way that you should be able to do as you please without as long as it doesn't harm other people. That's a super anarchist thought. That the original libertarians, like the people who called themselves libertarians, were anarchists. That's what they were. And so you kind of have the abolition of unjust and coercive hierarchies, like the state, which is the most unjust hierarchy, not government, but the state. Totally different. All right? And so you get more equality because people can just kind of do as they please as long as they're not harming other people. Now, this would require a huge psychological shift in, like, a lot of people, because there are people who just try and take advantage of others or hurt others because they don't like the way they look or whatever. We've got racism still, so anarchism is a long way off. But the goals are something worth striving for, and so you can try and do the kind of work needed to push people in that direction. And then, of course, I put this one under anarchism because the tenets of anarchism are very basic, and really it's mostly the abolition of unjust hierarchies, and I just wanted to put more shit under here. Life of decency for all is actually kind of something that socialists, anarchists, and communists want. Capitalism doesn't give a fuck about the quality of your life. Communism's main goal. Okay. That's mostly it. The difference between socialism and communism. Okay, socialism in and of itself was a term coined later after Marx. He himself used the phrase lower stage or lower phase communism to describe what socialism is. It's a transitional phase. Okay? Which he argued that there were going to be transitional phases into communism because you can't just go all in on it. Lenin fucked that all up. And now we have a bunch of people who think that you can just go all in on it. Well, really, it was Stalin who did that, but they read a lot of Lenin because he's the guy who kind of started it. But communism is mostly you do all the stuff that you need for socialism and the stuff you need for anarchism, except you don't abolish the state. You let it wither away when it is no longer necessary. Okay. That's a huge I mean, it seems like a very minute difference, and in some ways it really is. Okay, because it's about time frame. Like, it's like, okay, you both don't like the state, so what's the difference here? Well, communists want to maintain a state until they feel that it is no longer necessary. And personally, I disagree with this, because people will always make arguments that a state will be necessary, and it will go on for fucking ever. Anarchists just say, no, the state's unnecessary, get rid of it. Participatory. This is the one that I know absolutely the least about because it's such it's a ridiculous idea. All right, it's inane. It seems that the main goal of participatory economics is like a preservation of resources and more equal distribution. Alright, so this is, again, these are very super, super, super simple breakdowns of this, but it is worth going over. Participatory economics, it does seem that their like main goal is to preserve resources for an equal distribution, and equal here is in quotations. And then councils, like you would, okay, let me just describe this. You say you have a penis and you like vaginas, but you're kind of lonely, you don't have anybody, and you want to get like a pocket pussy or something. So, under participatory economics, once every 6 months, or some determined amount of time, 1 month, 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, who knows? That's kind of up in the air. But once every so often, you have to come up with a list of things you need. Your groceries, the luxury items you want, the medicines you need, stuff like that. And you give them over to like a council that's a local thing. And that list is made public. And people get to talk about whether or not you need those things. And so you write down that you need, you want your macaroni, you want your beans, you want your rice, you want your broccoli, you write out your food stuff, and then, somewhere in the middle of that list, you've got, super pocket pussy 9,000 or whatever. I don't fucking know. I've never looked at a pocket pussy. That's on a list that is public to everyone. So you could be requesting a pocket pussy, and your 95-year-old neighbor wants a dragon dildo. I mean, that's all public. You want candles, chains, and a riding crop? Guess what? Public. Now, to be fair, I think we should be, like, not having a stigma around talking about sexual things in public, but there are people who don't want such preferences to be known. And under this system, they would be known if you wanted to get them. That's just a thing. This system and this system are both kind of trash. Now, this one is definitely a better system than this one, but at least as far as, like, being more egalitarian about things. But the system is still trash, and I would not want to live under it. Okay? So this is just a real simple fucking overview, like, extraordinarily simple. Like, this is the way I would try and teach this to, well, kids wouldn't understand what commodity is or anything like that. But I would try and teach this to, like, a 4th grader, 5th grader. I could go over this with a child, and they should be able to at least get a general understanding. Myself, I'm an anarchist. Anarchist theory is very, very, very dense. Listening to a lot of it, because there's so much out there that you can look up. I would honestly recommend listening to Rosa Luxemburg. I like Bakunin as well, personally. And Kropotkin with Conquest of Bread, Mutual Aid. Those are pretty good. Mutual Aid is another tenant under that. I should probably. But, whatever. Super easy, basic concepts. Because anarchism, it's more than just an economic system, but its economic system would be mutual aid. Like, you do things to help people, other people do things to help you. It's what you would think of if you think participatory, but no, participatory economics is fucking weird. So yeah, this anarchism is pretty fucking based. Go check it out, honestly. I've done a lot of reading into socialism because, as Bakunin says, to be an anarchist, one must first be a socialist. So, if you want to be an anarchist, you also have to be a socialist. These are not mutually exclusive. Hell, these are not mutually exclusive. Anarcho-communism, it's a thing. You want to abolish all of the unjust and coercive hierarchies, but you understand, or at least you think, that the state needs to be retained for a period. I'm on the fence with that. I think the state is the biggest, like, as most anarchists do. I don't think that I think it's a very powerful and coercive force that cannot be left unchecked, especially. So, I'm going to demonstrate what a capitalist brain does to people, alright? Destiny's friend. New rule. You're no longer allowed to complain about the rising cost of rent or housing if you're only willing to live in the top 10 most expensive cities in the US. Fuck off and go live somewhere you can afford to instead of making it everyone else's problem. Okay. Good. Fuck you, Nick. You're a Nazi. Okay, anyways, the big thing to take away here. Capitalism. Remember this. Profit's the goal. You're no longer allowed to complain about the rising cost of rent or housing. Now he says if you're only willing to live in the top 10 most expensive cities in the US, fuck off and go live somewhere you can afford to. Okay, now let me break down why this logic is brain dead and why Destiny has reverted from being a smart person because he tells this person what to fucking tweet. Alright, we know this. Destiny went from being a smart person to being a complete dumb fuck. Or at least somebody who claimed they were consistent. So, let me go ahead and break this down. Destiny understands this, I'm sure. At least he fucking should. You live in Seattle. Minimum wage is like $18 there. Okay? You're having trouble paying for your rent and stuff. Yeah, that sucks. The place you can afford to live, we'll just take the state I live in, Oklahoma. Cost of living here for a singular person is $14.65 an hour to live on your own. Not much lower than anywhere. It's not much lower anywhere else. Oklahoma is a fairly cheap state to live in. I think we're like the 10th cheapest, and I don't remember the rest of the list. We're pretty decent. So, you're like, okay, I make $18 an hour here. Let me move to Oklahoma. Like, I can transfer jobs. They got a location out there. They transfer you to Oklahoma. Are you going to retain that $18 an hour, which is the state minimum wage? Because they have to pay you that? Or are they going to boost their profits, drop your wage? They may drop it to $14.85 an hour. So, you're making 20 cents more based on cost of living than what you were. They're just gonna drop your fucking profit. Main goal of capitalism, profit. They'll drop your pay to make more money. Okay? And then you're in the exact same situation that you were in your hometown when you moved to a new city. Alright? That's what capitalism does to a motherfucker's brain. I hope we understand. Oh, playbacks. Are there people in my playback still? Hey. Cool. Not giving me the concurrent views, but whatever. Y'all are still here, and I appreciate that. So, because the main goal of capitalism is profit, they will do everything. The capitalists will. They will do everything that they can. Every single thing that they can possibly think of to try and make your life harder. They will. They will do everything. to try and make it to where they can make more money, because the less they can pay you, the more money they make. And their goal is profit for themselves, for the business. That's it. The Supreme Court. All right. Fun little fact. Historical fact. Here, I'll even, that was very loud and not what I wanted. Ford Motor Company versus Dodge, 1919, is a case where the Michigan Supreme Court held that Henry Ford had to operate the Ford Motor Company in the interest of its shareholder rather than in a charitable manner for the benefit of his employees or customers. So, let me go ahead and lay down the scene here because I know a decent little bit about this, and it falls under the capitalism thing. Henry Ford, who, yes, he was a fascist, he was a bad person overall, recognized that he could pay his workers enough. If he paid them more, then they would be able to buy more things, including his cars. So if his workers were working, they could actually like support themselves and stuff. They would be able to increase his profits because they could buy his products that they assembled. And this actually worked. His employees actually helped, like, because Ford actually boosted the economy by an absolute shitload back then. And then the Dodge brothers, yes, the ones who founded the car company, they were shareholders of the Ford company at this point. They felt that they weren't getting the money that they were entitled to. Yeah, that's right. Entitled. That's the word that they used. We are entitled to this money as the shareholders. So they sued. And the Supreme Court in Michigan actually found that, yeah, like, that was their ruling. Yes, you have to operate for the benefit of the shareholders. Fuck your employees. Even though you benefited the economy massively more than pretty much any other businessman right now. I mean, Carnegie did a good job at benefiting the economy, specifically. Not an endorsement of these people, just saying. Even though this stuff happened, guess what? Fuck you, buddy. Your methods made your shareholders mad. And then the Dodge brothers took the winnings from that, divested from the company, and then made the Dodge Motor Company. So they fucked over a shitload of people. Like an absolute fuckload of people. So that they could start their own car company. Okay? Alright. So. Oh, there's a... Yeah, we should probably put wage, labor as well on here. Just because. Because. Private property means a production. Private property includes housing, by the way. Like, the way that it works currently. Public or personal property is like the house that you own, that you live in, the one that you stay in. That's the one that it's your home. You stay there. You put the personal belongings that you have there. Nothing wrong with that. That's the place you stay. What is, it becomes private property instead of personal property, in a Marxist sense specifically. It becomes private property when you do not live there, but you make money off of that property, i.e., landlords. Even Adam Smith, the founder of capitalism, or not the founder, but the father of capitalism, blah, 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 that motherfucker didn't even like landlords. He was also against monopolies. So he recognized the need for, like, strong regulation and stuff. So it's funny that all the people who are like, yes, Adam Smith, the father of capitalism, the person who we should listen to, and he doesn't want regulation on the market. Like, you motherfuckers never even read Wealth of Nations, okay? You jerk yourselves raw about it, but you never even read it. So, a generalized point of this is to try and keep in mind that can I open this in a new? Yeah, I can. Sweet. Okay. I don't have a whole lot of information about their actual economic system in here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. Which does this seem more like to you? Okay, they followed 5-year plans for a while, which they claimed was socialist. Recovered from Korean War through Chinese and Soviet aid, poor planning and shortages of skilled, yeah, skilled labor, arable land, transport, energy impeded growth, resulted in consistent failures on meeting planning goals. That happens under planned economies like all the fucking time. Declared last 7-year plan a failure, abandoned planning in 1993. So they changed markets. Now, if you notice, capitalism in and of itself, I guess, not a big deal. Now, okay, they got markets and they grew. Majority of women in private trade, men at state-owned workstations, even if unoperational. Encouraging tourists with ski resorts, which is their ski resort looks pretty dope. I'm not gonna lie. Now the fact that it's a capitalist thing, nah. Produced 10 times more than South Korea in its resources. Yes, it does. So it produces a shitload through private enterprise. Now majority women, but you know, I mean that's good. But private trade, privately held businesses prop up their economy right now with new trading routes established. And they extract a lot of their natural resources and they don't even socialize it. Like they don't even or nationalize it. I guess would be a better term. They don't. It's just private access to the resources, private trade, mostly women, because the men are required to be at their state-owned workstations, which remember this line. So, would you, knowing a bit about their economic system and knowing a basic overview, a super basic overview of these economic systems, which one would you put North Korea in? Privately owned businesses, generalized commodity production and trade and exchange, wage labor is a thing, and that's mostly it. So, if you had to take this and compare it to one of these, would you say that it was socialist? I mean, personally, I wouldn't, but you know, that's just me. I don't know. What would you say it is? Is it anarchist? Well, they have a state, so it obviously can't be anarchist. It can't be communist. Again, they have a state. It's not participatory because they don't have councils that receive requests for things. That was more under their planning thing than anything else, and they got rid of that. Is it socialist? Public ownership of the means of production. Private trade. People who work at the place own it, not when the government owns it. Required to be at state-owned workstations. Produces 10 times more than South Korea in its resources. Wage labor. Abolition of the commodity form or regular reductions in. Now, okay, I will I want to state this. Regular reductions in the commodity form or selective decommodification is a tactic that can be used for socialism. Because, here's the deal. You could make it to where you don't have to pay a dime, not a single dime, for, food, water, housing. What about games? And computers? Luxury goods? You just gonna abolish the commodity form outright? How are you gonna do valuations on things and keep the world from revolting and fucking murdering people over stuff? How are you gonna do that? I don't really see a way for this to work all at once. Now, if there was a way, that would be based. But I'm not really seeing a good way for it to work. So, you do things like market socialism. And I know there are going to be people who say, market socialism isn't socialism, it's still inherently capitalist. No. No, it is not. Social democracy is inherently capitalist and still relies on imperialism to maintain its welfare state. Because welfare capitalism is social democracy. SOCDEMs, they're welfare capitalists. They still believe that you should have private property, private ownership of the means of production, that you should have generalized commodity and production and exchange, and that people should get paid. But they believe that people should get paid well. They believe that SOCDEMs do believe in a life of decency. I know it's weird, but they do believe that people should be able to live dignified lives, not starving, not dying on the street, not dying from lack of health care. All the stuff that like Bernie Sanders talks about, that's social democracy. Because he does not come out and say, we need to take away the ability for one individual. Actually, I think he has said we need to take away the ability for one individual to amass this much wealth. Although I think he was referring to putting strict limits on how much people could earn, increasing taxes, shit like that. Meanwhile, a socialist, not a SOCDEM, would go, make it to where that person doesn't own the business. Everyone there owns the business. Everyone there gets to now vote on their wages. Taxes are still going to be a thing. So taxes are going to come in heavy on the people who have a lot of money. The Bezoses, the Musks, the Waltons. These motherfuckers are going to be facing that accountability. That's generally what I wanted to go over. This is actually going to be one of the longest segments I've ever done out of a live stream. So, geez. Hopefully this is just it's a really basic overview, but hopefully it puts a bit of a distinction into the different systems that are available. Communism and socialism are fairly interchangeable, especially since socialism is just lower phase communism. But there is a difference between anarchy and communists. There's not much of a distinction between anarchists and socialists because you have to be a socialist to be an anarchist. That's just a thing. So those three kind of interplay a lot. But if this helped at least a little bit for those of you who don't actually know what socialism is, because no, it's not when the government does stuff. But if you don't know what socialism is, if you don't know what causes a lot of problems in our society, it especially if there's just leftists yelling at you that you're not a socialist, I understand. That's not super helpful. I get it. I've been there and I've done that. So we all learn, we all try and do better. But we've got we got work to do, and I just want people to understand the things that they are talking about, or at least the things that other people are talking about, without going to poll or 4chan or some other stupid shit, because that's where you heard socialism last and it was being made fun of there. I'd rather you get it from a better source. And that is what I'm here for. Not the smartest. I'm nowhere near the smartest person. But I'm honest. So, I hope y'all enjoy. Thanks for watching. And that's a segment. Probably the longest segment I've ever done. 60-minute average time. Wait, is the sound not coming through? Hello? Yeah, it's coming through. Okay, yeah, we're good. This thing's stupid as fuck. Hopefully the video played. Is my Yeah, all my sounds are going out. Let me go ahead and oh jeez. Yeah. I know that that's probably just not worded the best. He wasn't trying to like flee from the police though, but he did panic. Poor wording, and I know that that's probably going to get made fun of in alt-right circles, but that's because they're stupid and they don't understand like how to parse out what somebody's actually trying to say. Tragic. Terrible. Very depressing. A day after too. Oh my god. Wait, what? Let's go, Sam. prior to Biden releasing his plan. I like how he tries to gloss over it with, it was a mistake in the graphic. No, y'all do that shit deliberately. Plant-based beer. Okay. As opposed to what? Alright, Schumer, that's actually a pretty decent zinger. Fucking stuck it to Kudlow. I don't even like Schumer. But Jesus Christ. The Republican Party is so bad. Oh God. Okay. Okay. We're done with that. We're done with that. Joe Rogan spreads vaccine misinformation to millions. Of course he does. It's fucking Joe Rogan. He's dumb. He has a soup brain. Oh yeah. Look at this shit. Okay. India, June 2020, July, August, September, not looking great, doing pretty poorly, although they've got a shitload of people there. Not not doing oh, oh, oh. Wow, look at that. That for the entire country, that's actually really low amount. Wait, what? Oh God. Oh no. Oh no. 330,000 cases on a 7-day average. So every day it just keeps shooting up. And everything is going way up. 20% infection rate. 20.3%.
Okay, now, I have a two-part criticism here. It's good that we are helping India because, let's face it, they have, like, a shitload of people. There's over 1 billion people in India. They need the help, okay? They need vaccines. It's a thing. It is. However, another thing is that Biden himself could come out in favor of uh, removing intellectual property rights on the vaccine, allowing other countries in the global south to develop a vaccine with the same kind of intellectual properties and the same shit that we've been developing ours with, so that we could save people in the global fucking south. Okay, that's a thing that we really need to do, and Biden is one person who could definitely put pressure on allowing that to happen. He's the president of the United fucking States of America. Okay, if he's not gonna do it, what the fuck? Help India? Good. Also help the global south. Help all of South America. Help Africa. Help the rest of the Middle East. We need to do that. Now, India. Ooh. India themselves may or may not help the rest of the Middle East. However, there's kind of some nationalists in India that would prevent that from happening. But it's a step, okay? If we help them, we could help Iran, and we could help Syria, and that could help out a lot of the rest of the region. And by Syria, I mean Rojava. Like, even helping out some of the worst people in power right now, A, could make us look better, and it, B, helps a lot of people. But we would have to make sure that the vaccines are actually distributed to the peoples. We couldn't have it, oh, here you go, Assad, go ahead and distribute the vaccines, distribute it to the people he wants, ships off the rest to somewhere else, lets millions die because they oppose him. No, we don't need that kind of shit. But people need to be vaccinated. People need to have a fighting chance against COVID. This is a global pandemic. We cannot allow people to just be left on the wayside. We can't do it. So we need to be calling Biden, call your senator, call your fucking congress people, call your local people, and get them to put pressure. Tell your friends and shit. We need to get pressure to eliminate the intellectual property barriers that are barring other countries from developing vaccines. We need to put pressure to get them to send vaccines to places where they're iffy on sending them. I saw a fucking graph earlier today, like a chart and shit, and a map about like how many people think that we should be sending help and aid to the global south, and that's fairly high. I think it was like 57% of the people polled. And then there was a graph of the people who were being like, or a map of the people who were being barred or undecided on helping. Like Canada was undecided on helping these other, like all these other countries. Why? Bolivia could use the help, okay? Venezuela could use the help, alright? Haiti could probably use the help, although Haiti may have it cool with Cuba. And Cuba's got good-ass healthcare. So, we need to help. Cuba's already helping. Like, Cuba does so much work in medicine that we just blow off. And then we claim that we're the best. Motherfucker, no we're not. America sucks in so many fucking ways. And it comes back to, wait for it, capitalism. That's what it comes down to. Capitalism sucks. Capitalism will create scarcity where none exists, just to generate profit. It's an abhorrent system overall, especially the way that it's run. If it was run the way that Adam Smith envisioned it initially, if you read The Wealth of Nations and stuff, it wouldn't be nearly this bad. It'd still be awful, and we should still be fighting against it to go to something better, but it wouldn't be as bad. We wouldn't be in this position the way that we are. Medicine would have been a public good. we would probably be it. Like, we would be a social democracy. But capitalism allows greed to gather strength. Capitalism allows the people with that strength to wield it however they see fit. And capitalism focuses on profits over anything. One of the first labor markets in capitalism was only a market because you bought the people. It was slavery. Slavery existed before then. This is true. But capitalism definitely made it worse because, well, you're supposed to pay the people who do the labor. But if you own the people as property, you don't have to pay them to do the labor. That's free fucking labor, which increases your profit. So under a capitalist framework, that's the right thing to do. Part of the reason this system is so absolutely barbaric and gross. And people keep coming in and then they keep leaving. Is there audio issues? Is anybody in the playback or anything? Are there audio issues? Are we good? Like, is that a thing? Just in case the audio isn't good, I'll type it out. Oh, we're about to get anecdotes. Are we ready? Are we fucking ready? Okay. This is about the Iranian. What? Okay. Motherfucker, you don't even know what's in your fucking soda. Shut up. I don't know what's in it. You don't know what's in your fucking tap water. What do you mean? You put stuff in your body that you don't know what's in it all the goddamn time. Every day. You go to any fast food restaurant, you don't know what the fuck's in there. You go to any restaurant, you don't know what might be in that food. You can hope. You can assume. But guess what? If I pick up this can right next to me, this is a can of NOS, and I read sodium hexametaphosphate. I don't know what the fuck that is right off the top of my head. It says preservative next to it, but that doesn't mean I know what it is, what it's made of, what it will do to my body. Pyridoxine hydrochloride? I don't know what the fuck that is. It says vitamin B6. Cyanocobalamin? I don't know what the fuck that is either. It says vitamin B12, but off the top of my head, I don't know what the fuck those are. I don't know what it does to my body. You got vaccines when you were younger because they were mandatory to go to fucking school. You don't know what's in those? Guess what? You're fine. Okay, so it's actually rounding out a thing with people saying that it's good. Army wife is over here being like, well, I don't know what's in it, and so I don't want to take it. Shut the fuck up. Okay, yeah. You. Once during the War of 1812, once during the Mexican-American War, several times during the Border War, and once during World War II. During the Cold War, most of the U.S. military strategy was geared towards repelling an attack by the Soviet Union. Capture and burning of Washington, D.C. by the British in 1814. Military history of the United States began with a foreign power on the U.S. The British Army during the American Revolutionary War. No, not entirely accurate. The next attack on American soil was during the War of 1812, also with the British, the first and only time since the end of the Revolutionary War in which a foreign power occupied the American capital. The capital city of Philadelphia was also captured by the British during the Revolution. Mexican forces invaded Brownsville, Texas, and attacked U.S. troops patrolling the Rio Grande. Okay, so the thing that sparked the Mexican-American War. The American Civil War may be seen as an invasion of home territory to some extent. They made, yeah, but no. I wouldn't consider that. European threats. Mexican rebels briefly invaded the U.S. on supply raid. During World War I, huh? Canadian Lieutenant Colonel James Buster Sutherland Brown drafted what can be called the Canadian version of War Plan Red. According to the plan, Canada would invade the United States as quickly as possible if evidence of an American invasion was found. The Canadians would gain a foothold in the northern U.S. to allow time for Canada to prepare its war effort and receive aid from Britain. They would also destroy key bridges and railroads. The plan had detractors who saw it as unrealistic, but also supporters who believed that it could have conceivably worked. Na, 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 na. During World War II, the defense of Haiti and the continental United States was part of the Pacific Theater and American Theater, respectively. The American Campaign Medal was awarded. Okay, so Nazi Germany. When Germany declared war on the U.S. in 1941, the German High Command immediately recognized that current German military strength would be unable to attack or invade the United States directly. Of course. Submarine warfare, U-boats. Jesus. Adolf Hitler dismissed the threat of America, stating that the country had no racial purity and thus no fighting strength. The American public is made up of Jews and, okay, German military and economic leaders, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, we've only been invaded a few times. That's it. I just wanted to look that up because dude saying the stupid shit, you know? No confirm. No. So, yeah, I will be uploading the segment that the stream is named on. Little chat about economic systems. And by little chat, why does it keep recommending me fucking Destiny videos? I'm not subscribed. Wow, you've lost 11 viewers since I just looked. Jesus. You must be saying dumb shit again. What's up with the whole Schumer thing? What about the $15 an hour minimum wage that Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema obliterated? What about that one, Schumer? Okay, I'm gonna go over that clip myself because you can go watch Sam talk about it if you want and give him the views because I want to talk about it. So, Schumer completely flopped on that. Like he failed there. That was weak as fuck, okay? We've got him talking about the impeachment twice as two big legislative priorities. I'm sorry, the impeachment was not the biggest legislative priority. Like, get him out? Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I was on board with an impeachment. But I wouldn't say it was one of the biggest legislative priorities. For one, it's not legislation. It is something that the legislature takes care of, but it's not legislation. So it's not a legislative priority. It's a political priority. However, or rather, not however, the thing is, you were not in agreement on the biggest issues that are here. Biden said he would do a public option. Where the fuck is the public option, Joe? Where is it? You've been talking about public option since Obama got elected. Where is it? Do you not get notifications that I'm streaming, dude? Like at all? You could check. What? Edward Snowden is a hero. What is this? I didn't even see this. Yeah, Jim Browning is a fucking hero. God, Edward Snowden is a hero. Jeez. Ah. Ooh, the right wing cope. Why is it I'm not subscribed to him either? He's a dumbass. Oh my god. Okay. I keep hearing people say that Biden has not exceeded their expectations when the exact same people that I see saying that he hasn't exceeded their expectations had the lowest expectations. They were saying that he was going to do worse than Trump on every metric. Like, what the fuck? How dumb are you? Okay. I really don't understand. How? How? How do you square these two things? You said Biden was going to be worse than Trump. You said nothing was going to change. It was actually going to get worse for everybody. That he wasn't going to that he wasn't going to uphold any of the things that he said. I'm sorry. He's upheld, or at least put forth an effort to uphold a large portion of what he said. I think he's been very weak about a lot of it. I think a lot of it doesn't go far enough, and I think there's some issues that he said he would address that he hasn't. I've already mentioned, where the fuck is the public option? We don't have Medicare for all. We don't have a universal system like that. Or a single payer, I should say, because in a sense a public option could be universal because literally anybody can get onto it. But, and yes, there's problems with the public option, but if we got a public option, I'd be more on board with that right now than I am with our current system. I just so the people who keep screaming that he didn't exceed their expectations, I'm sorry. You are lying to yourself. You are lying. You you're lying to yourself and you're lying to the people who follow you, okay? Because you straight up said that he was going to be worse. You said there would be no point and that Trump may actually be better, and I quote, because he may radicalize more people into action. It could start the revolution. No. No. No, 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 no. Not at all. It wouldn't start a revolution. It would be fascism. If Trump won again, lefties would be murdered in the streets. Okay? If he had won again, it would have been bad. I don't see how people look at that situation and think that there are enough leftists in this country that if Trump won again, they could just take up arms and take on the fucking government. Because before you even got to the government, you would have to deal with the roaming, frothing at the mouth, right-wing death squads that would start running around. The 3%ers, the Oath Keepers, the Proud Boys, unshackled, free to do what they feel like? Yeah, anyone who said they were a leftist would be killed. What do you mean? There's not enough of us to do what you would want to do. We don't have the numbers, for one. We don't have the strategy. We don't even have the ability to unify when we're having to fight against a fascist in an electoral sense. What makes you think anybody is going to band together if they're a roaming desk? No. You would just point at somebody that you don't like if they got murdered and laugh at them until they come for you. Because that's how a lot of online leftists act. Well, people hate Kamala Harris, so her in particular, none. Like, I don't think she'll be effective at doing much of anything that people would want her to do because there are enough people who do not like her. Which sucks. I mean, because the stuff that people want her to do is good, but she is not liked, so people won't. Do you all understand what I'm getting at with all this? 24 average. Wow. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really don't. I don't know. It's been getting absolutely ridiculous. What? Okay. Um, Now I know people are gonna get upset about this one, but I almost guarantee this was a concession that was made to get more, uh, like Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema more on board with the idea of this plan, because Kristen Sinema was really gonna try and hold this shit up. The the thing that I hope happens, because this is an instance that I think that the squad could really flex, because this is a prominent package. This is something that's huge. It is essentially a must-pass bill. Now, it's not the stimulus, and it's not, some other things. It's more important, in my opinion, than trying to hold off Nancy Pelosi from becoming Speaker of the House. Like, that just forced the vote was stupid as fuck, okay? But the strategy in and of itself, just the idea behind the formulation of that strategy, I should say, using holding up certain things to get concessions or legislation or House votes and shit, that idea in and of itself isn't bad, but the actual way that people went about it with the Force the Vote campaign under Jimmy Dore, fucking stupid. You didn't have leverage, you didn't have a must-pass bill, you didn't have the ability to actually really, hold up a major proceeding, because Nancy Pelosi was going to win regardless. And also, keeping Nancy Pelosi from being Speaker of the House was not a big enough priority that they could actually, force a House vote on Medicare for all. It just wouldn't happen. They'd go around you. I guarantee Pelosi would make a deal with a couple of Republicans, and they would vote over you. And that'd be it. I'll give you this if you vote for me as Speaker of the House, because, none of your candidates are going to win. You don't have the numbers ever to get them to win, so I can bring you over, because Pelosi has the most leverage in that situation. Now, what people look at is they go, well, the squad had leverage. What do you mean? They could have held up the vote. Who has more leverage? The squad, who could hold up the vote by not voting, or Pelosi, who can look at the entire situation and go, there is no way that a Republican candidate is going to win this one. So I'm just going to reach out to, there's 4 people not wanting to vote for me until I do this thing. Okay. Hey, you 4 Republicans, you're reasonable. If I give you these concessions, would you vote for me as Speaker of the House? You know there's no way for your person to win. And it looks good on you as bipartisan, for bipartisanship. It plays an optics game for the Republicans. Oh, I voted for Nancy Pelosi for Speaker of the House because she was the best Democrat for the job. So, Republican optics covered. Pelosi gets her seat of power. The Republicans also get some sort of concession, and the squad gets fucked. Because they don't get anything. They look like they're children, and on top of that, there will be smear after smear after smear thrown against them in ad campaigns. The optics were bad, the strategy was bad, there was a lack of analysis on where the leverage actually lie. Pelosi had it, not the squad. And the fact that people don't see that, I don't know. Ooh, a concurrent viewer. Hello. Just keep that in mind, okay? Next time you hear something from people like Jimmy Dore and they're throwing out an idea for a strategy, keep in mind where the actual leverage lies. Don't just analyze it from a singular position. Look at the position that every single member involved is at. So, you can look at, say, the $15 an hour minimum wage, all right? That gets put up at a standalone bill. Well, that's going to pass the House, all right? It just will. It'll go to the Senate. So, in the Senate, the 2 people who will not vote for it already turned it down. Sinema, Manchin. All right. So, in that particular case, you could try and play the, I think Jank actually threw out this one. You play a game, you vote no, I vote no. You vote yes, I vote yes. But you have to have actual leverage, because if only 2 of you will vote no on the bill, and it will pass overwhelmingly in the House, where the margins are actually a bit better, what are you going to do? It'll pass in the House, you don't have the leverage. Manchin and Sinema have the leverage, because they're the Democrats who will tank it. Now, the job of Chuck Schumer here and Bernie Sanders is to try and leverage something with Republicans. if Cinema and Manchin won't cave on it, you can get Republicans to vote on something like this. You find a state that has a low minimum wage, or something closer to that minimum wage. Actually, would probably be easier. You find a state that's got like 1350 or 1450, and you get them to vote yes on it. You find a couple of people in that situation, 3 of them in total, to vote on that situation. You don't even need Harris as a tiebreaker. You just get the $15 an hour minimum wage, and then you make Cinema and Manchin look even worse to the eyes of regular people, because you managed to get a couple of Republicans to vote for it. Now, because liberals don't pay all that much attention to politics, they won't go, oh, these 2 Republicans voted for it. Who are these 2 Republicans? What are their states? What are the states' minimum wage? They won't analyze it that deep, usually. The news might. Somebody in the news will probably be like, well, this person's state's minimum wage was already $14.50, so it was a 50-cent an hour raise for everybody in the state, which is not nothing, but it's not something. And because liberals will like that, it'll be played by media, more likely, as a strategic, masterful win by Chuck Schumer. Except for by Fox News, which will be like, it was a powerful strategic move as a bipartisan effort from these 2 Republicans. They managed to pull their muscle, or these 3 Republicans, and they pulled their muscle together. So, I mean, it'll get spun in multiple ways, but the key thing is everybody got the $15 an hour minimum wage. It's literally a game of strategy and leverage. Alright, that's what politics is. It is also about the pursuit of real-world power, but the actual way that you need to approach it isn't just power. You have to understand nuance. You have to know strategy. You have to understand where leverage lies. You have to be able to try and shift that leverage more to your position. It's a very tricky, very complicated, very tough game to play. Extraordinarily tough. You can't just throw your hands up if you don't get your way and say, no. Not all the time. There are times you can do it. But god damn it, you have to understand where you are at. Keep in mind, I'm a high school graduate, 1 semester of college, Oklahoma dumbass. Okay? I am, as the people on Twitter call me, I'm going to go ahead and claim the title of the #1 shitlib. I mean, all my positions align with the left, but they call me a shitlib online anyways, because they don't know how to be nuanced or pragmatic or actually interpret things. So they just throw out shitlib, and so I'm reclaiming it. That's the channel meme. If you like anarchism, you're now a shitlib. So, welcome. I hope you enjoy. I've been reaching out to try and talk to people. Hopefully I can get them on a Discord call. I'd like to be able to talk to people. I don't want to have a shouting match with other people. I want to talk politics. Like, I want to talk about policies and strategies. Now, yes, lefties are fucking allergic to pragmatism. That's 100% correct. Alright, I've already seen this video, but it's true. They are. They don't understand how to approach things. They don't know how to play the game. They don't. They just see a politician not doing what they want, and they scream. Why didn't you do exactly what I said you should do? Well, because you don't know the fucking position that anybody's in. You don't know where the leverage is. You don't know where people are willing to concede, where they're weak, where they're strong. You don't know these things. mm. lefties also. All right, yeah. Lefties also don't seem to understand that if uh if you live under a capitalist system, you should understand how the system actually works, and that people are going to operate within that system, even while trying to work to change that system. Okay? Personally, like, I'm not an owner of, like, anything, but I do work. Alright? I make money. I contribute to the perpetuation of capitalism by working. However, you wouldn't fault me for that, because the alternative is dying. In, like, an actual, literal sense. Not just being homeless and being poor and, like, legitimately, for me in particular, not working equals death. If I don't have money coming in, I die. And it's not just about the money, it's the fact that I have certain medical conditions that require me to be able to afford to do things. Super vague posting, but you don't need to know everything about my medical history. So, this right here, let's just take this as an example, because Biden's omitting the estate tax expansion. Not the estate tax itself. He's taking away the expansion of the estate tax from his tax plan. There are probably going to be some lefties who go, wait, he campaigned on that. He's breaking all of his campaign promises. Now, to be fair, he is finishing off the border wall, which is a terrible fuck move. I don't agree with that. That's bad. He needs to not do that shit. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Biden? That's the thing you slammed Trump for on the campaign trail constantly. The thing I criticize Trump for constantly. You don't just turn around and finish the project. Like, dude. However, lefties will look at this and they'll freak out. Oh, he's turning his back on his campaign promises. He won't do anything. He's the worst president that I've seen in my entire life. These people, A, by saying that, hand wave away George W. Bush and Trump, and currently Obama even. Like, Biden himself, yes, he is more right-wing than he is left-wing. I'd put him at center-right, honestly. Kind of actually center-right. Right of center. So if you've got, like, the line, which is here, you've got left, center left. Actually, this is bad. Left, center left, left of center, center, right, right of center, and then this is right, center right. Okay, and then we'll use this section for far right, left, center, left, left of center, center, right of center, center right, right. Biden falls right along in here. Right along this line. He's not in the center, which would be here. He's a bit over from center, but he's not over here. I'd put him here. Him personally. His governing is kind of here. Obama was here. like right in here. Kinda center, kinda leaning to the right a bit, actually, but not right of center, not center right, not center, but moving right leaning centrist. So instead of being like here, he's like right even with these watch later buttons. Instead of being here, he's like right here, right alongside here. I know, stupid way to make an analogy. I get it. Yep, I expected the person to leave. But Biden's administration is further left. God damn. Everybody laughed too. Look at that. Laughed, laughed, laughed. Openly laughing. Hard to tell. Probably laughing, but hard to tell. Openly laughing. Still losing it, still losing it. Is that a black and... That's a black and mild sweet wood tip. I see it. I know those. I smoke those. But that is not me. I can't prove this unless you find my Twitter, which is there. You know. Destiny is enabling the transpanic defense. Yeah, that was a thing. He was. Destiny has... See, it still recommends me all of his fucking videos. Of course he doesn't understand 1984 or George Orwell. No? What the fuck are you? I don't know. At least you're honest. I need money for Robux. But no. Because the Japanese word for meat is niku. Niku. Yeah, cops are fucking terrible. Yeah, the woke segregation shit. And then there's this Tariq Nasheed or whatever the fuck his name is. Harmful motherfucker. Cancerous. I get recommended so much weird shit. Mass protest, but y'all can't do shit for anything else. Okay. Your video game did a bad transmog system. I can understand, like, if you're okay, if you're saying a Twitter outrage mob, about how bad the system is a protest, then okay. But 3-second clips. All right. Uh, I don't recommend this. Let's go. Oh God. Okay. Let's go ahead and go here. Now, when I was a child, I grew up, let's see, 2005. I was 13? No. No way. Yeah. Yeah, I was 13. Okay. Yeah, because I was 11 when 9/11 happened. That doesn't add up. Wait. No. I'm dumb. That was the invasion of Iraq that I'm thinking of the year. Yeah. If I was 13, that means I was 9 when 9. Yeah, that sounds right, because I was in like second grade. So, 9/11 happened. I grew up a little bit, and I'd been seeing her. My dad watched Fox News a whole lot. Let's be completely clear about that. So let's see, because I don't, I don't actually, because I was a child, I didn't pay attention to her. 2005 to 2009, Secretary. Okay, National Security Advisor, 2001 to 2005. Oh, of course. First female African American Secretary of State, which, that's a good accomplishment, I guess. I don't like Secretary of State as a position, but the fact that that she was the first African American Secretary of State to ever exist, that's and the first woman National Security Advisor. Okay. Okay, so it was Colin Powell and then Condoleezza Rice. So I knew that he had also served, but by virtue of Secretary of State standing fourth in the presidential line of succession. Yes, that's true. It's Vice President, Speaker of the House. Uh, I don't remember who it is. Is it the Senate Majority Leader and then the uh, Secretary of State? I think that's it. Keep Tender Bachelor. Okay. Oh, she. Wait, when was she born? Oh, 1954. Yeah, segregation was still going on. Grew up under segregation. Received a bachelor's from University of Denver and her master's degree in political science from University of Notre Dame. In 1981, she received a PhD from the School of International Studies at the University of Denver. And the only reason I had to check when she was born is because she does not. Okay, okay, it's an official portrait in 2005, but still, like this picture, you forget that she was born in 1954. All right, so let's wait. National security. Council as the Soviet and Eastern Europe Affairs Advisor to George H.W. Bush during the dissolution of the Soviet Union. He worked at the State Department under the Carter administration and served on the National Security Council as the Soviet and Eastern European Affairs Advisor during the dissolution of the Soviet Union and German reunification from 1989 to 1991. Really? Wow. Those are definitely accomplishments, not ones that I'm but it was all targeted against the communists. I don't like that. Very mixed feelings. Dissolution of the Soviet Union was also a thing that I don't. Yeah, that makes sense. It was an authoritarian regime. Sucked. It wasn't socialism. But they painted it as socialism, and Stalin painted it as socialism. So, socialism got a bad name. Stalin dealt more harm to socialism than pretty much, at least to the image of socialism, than pretty much anyone else. McCarthy could only dream. McCarthy couldn't have done it if Stalin didn't take power. Pretty sure. At least he wouldn't have had as strong of a foothold in trying to rant against communism. Oh, with U.S. backing. Yep. Okay, so she's an imperialist. So, awful. Hoover Institution. Yeah. Transformational diplomacy. Directed towards expanding the number of responsible democratic governments in the world, and especially in the greater Middle East. Yeah. Care about any of that? North Korea signed a nuclear non-proliferation treaty in 1985, but in 2002 revealed they were operating a secret nuclear weapons program that violated the 1994 agreement. The 94 agreement between the United States and North Korea included North Korea agreeing to freeze and eventually dismantle its graphite-moderated nuclear reactors in exchange for international aid, which would help them to build two new light water nuclear reactors. In 2003, North Korea officially withdrew from the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Rice played a key role in the idea of six-party talks that brought China, Japan, Russia, and South Korea into discussion with North Korea and the United States. During these discussions, Rice gave strong talks to urge North Korea to dismantle their nuclear program. In 2005, North Korea agreed to give up its entire nuclear program in exchange for the security guarantees and economic benefits to ensure its survival. Okay. Despite the agreement in 2005 and 2006, North Korea test-fired long-range missiles. The UN Security Council demanded North Korea suspend the program. In 2007, Rice was involved in another nuclear agreement with North Korea, Pyongyang. Rice, other negotiators for the United States, and 4 other nations, six-party talks, reached a deal with North Korea. In this deal, North Korea agreed to close its main nuclear reactor in exchange for $400 million in aid. Okay, well, wait, why does it say important role in trying to stop the nuclear threat from North Korea and Iran? That's not. That's not correct. Really, y'all are still here. That's great. Do you like the research shit? I like the research shit. So, I don't know why it says India here. Announce the agreement cooperating with the United States and India involving peaceful uses of nuclear energy. As Secretary of State, Rice was involved. Okay, well, very little. Okay, I don't care. Wait, music. Played piano. Okay, she played Mozart thing. Is she in a band or whatever? No, I don't care. I don't care. Care about what she did in government. I don't care about anything the fuck else. Those are things. I mean, if there was like huge crimes or whatever, then that'd be a different matter. But there don't seem to be outside of war crimes, which we never fucking prosecute. Wait. Rice declined to testify before National Commission on Terrorist Attacks upon the United States, the 9/11 Commission. The White House claimed executive privilege under constitutional separation of powers and cited past tradition. Under pressure, Bush agreed to allow her to testify so long as it did not create a precedent of presidential staff being required to appear before the United States Congress when so requested. April 2007, Rice rejected, on grounds of executive privilege, a House subpoena regarding the pre-war claim that Iraq sought yellow cake uranium from Niger. Rice was a proponent of the 2003 invasion of Iraq. Yep, after Iraq delivered its declaration of weapons of mass destruction to the United States on December. What? What? I don't care about that. What? Wait. Bush declared that they had weapons of mass destruction. What are you talking about? Hold on. Yeah. Iraq Stabilization Group to quell the violence in Iraq and Afghanistan and to speed the reconstruction of both countries. Yeah. We know that's bullshit. By May 2004, the Washington Post reported that the council had become virtually non-existent. I wonder why. Yep. So, okay, so I wasn't watching the presidential election shit. I mean, I watched the actual, like, election roll in, but I didn't watch any of the campaign stuff. No, I was busy playing, what, 2004? I was playing, like, what, Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Pokemon or some shit in my room with my siblings. I wouldn't watch in the presidential election. Fuck no. 2004, I was 12. Yeah, no, I wouldn't watch. Nah, fuck that. Rice became so. She said Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with the actual attacks on America. Saddam Hussein's Iraq was part of the Middle East that was festering and unstable, and was part of the circumstances that created the problem on 9/11. Saudi Arabia attacked us on 9/11. The place is a fucking theocratic monarchy. The dictatorship that we support. Saudi pilots. We support them. What the fuck? And we still do. College football. Nobody cares. Hmm. He described affirmative action as being still needed, does not support quotas. Hmm. I think there could potentially be better solutions than affirmative action, but I personally haven't. I don't really know. Like, I haven't got an answer. I feel like there could be, though. I really do. I feel like there are way better ones. But I'm not a sociologist, so I don't know. Although I do have access to Sociology 101 as a textbook, so I can at least get the basics. I should have taken it in high school. I really should have. But it looked stupid. I was like, sociology. Huh. Gonna go smoke weed and drink. Fuck this. Sociology. So, I didn't. I don't drink anymore. Huh. Weird. Didn't know about that. Immigrations with a comprehensive immigration plan backed by Bush. Republican. Okay, so she opposed the travel ban, which is at least one thing. Yep. Okay. See? Working class people defending themselves with their Second Amendment right. I usually don't like the idea of violence. Honestly, I don't. I'm mildly pacifistic in that regard. However, if if you've got people that are in the KKK, okay, bad. Why don't we just ban marriage in general and only do civil unions? Just remove marriage. Fuck it. Everything's a civil union. Everything. Okay, so stupid, poor argument about Confederate generals and buildings. The name of a building is not how you remember history. We have these things. Um, Study skills. Why is it important to why study history? History, education, state, universe. Okay, so you've got that, and then what's that? I know it starts with a B. Oh, book. History book. What do you know? There's a thing that we use to record history and teach it. Huh. A statue doesn't do it. A statue honors somebody. You grew up in a state that was part of the Confederacy, right? Georgia, right? Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, Birmingham, yeah. Alabama, southern state, threatened by the KKK, which was created out of former Confederates. I don't I don't understand. Okay. I don't. Whatever. And Kyle's gonna go over it. So Bush voted for. I mean, okay. Bush could have done. I mean, it's Bush, so he's not gonna do anything good. But he didn't vote for, which is a thing. He didn't vote for Biden, which is less of a thing. And he sucks still. So fuck you, Bush. Of course, why would he? Wait, what? 17 minutes of a cop doing a good thing? The damage report thing, of course. So. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. No, I don't quit streaming because I don't get followers. I do this because I want to, not because people watch it. Although, if people do watch it, those of you who are here. Wait, what? How are you? What is wrong? Oh, I didn't even realize. I'm so sorry, everybody. Is it good? Are we good now? No, there's more people connected to my fucking internet now. So my stream is not wanting to handle. What the hell? Okay. Everybody leeching my fucking internet. Hey, turn off my own Wi-Fi, and then I get a better connection. We should be alright. Hopefully. Reset, it says it's 5 minutes on there, but the stream itself has been going on for 2 hours and 20 minutes almost. Alright. I do appreciate that you're here. Oh, wait, concurrent viewer. Did you get kicked and come back? Is that what happened? I'm sorry. I know that it freaked out. As a matter of fact, here. I'm gonna go over this myself. Alright. Okay. Schools are open. Encourage mask. He has been encouraging mask use. Require them where possible. And yeah, they're at over 213 million shots, so he has met those promises. He did pass COVID-19 relief package to get Americans through the economic crisis, which not really. Propose an infrastructure spending plan. He did do that. Pause foreclosures, and he also did that. Extend student loan repayment pause. He did do that. The first one, he technically did pass a relief package, but it did not do what it was intended to. Moral authority. Rejoin international organizations, re-international. Yeah, he's done that. He has okay. He has done work here. He's also working on that. Formally recognizes the Armenian genocide. Yup. He just did that. Oh man. Okay, that's gonna be it. That's gonna be a segment in and of itself. Biden formally recognizing the Armenian genocide. Oh. Stop construction of southern border wall. Largely kept? Oh, no. Okay, he is backtracked on that one because he continued reconstruction. So, I don't know how you can put largely kept on that. I kind of mentioned that earlier, but whatever. And reverse Trump's strict immigration policies. He has been working on that, all right? So there's been issues with him doing that. Create police oversight commission. He hasn't done. Send bill to Congress repealing liability protection for gun manufacturers. Closing background check loopholes and instituting a waiting period. Yeah, he has done none of that. Like, hadn't even touched on it. Which, considering the climate of things and more recent events, you'd think he would put a little bit of urgency into. But so this is where I can policing and guns, the weak stimulus, reversal on the border wall thing, where he was like apparently building more of the border wall. Yeah, those are things that we really should be hitting him on. They're bad. These are failures. These are pretty big failures at that. But I know this is not apologizing for these failures, but there are other things that we have done. That there are things that he has done that are pretty decent. They don't go quite far enough in my opinion. But hey, the infrastructure bill is pretty good. There's a climate plan that he put out that I kind of liked. I mean, it wasn't amazing, but it was better. There was the because the COVID plan with the $15 an hour minimum wage, and I mean, yeah, that got shit on by 2 senators, but you do have to. I mean, it was in there. He hasn't moved on a public option, which is also bad considering the actual pandemic we're in. But the vaccines are being distributed and they're free, so make protections for LGBTQ Americans a top legislative priority. Yeah, he hadn't done shit for that either. So that's good to hold him to account. He definitely should be doing this. Now, I think the policing more specifically, the guns issue, I I differ here with guns. I really do. I just no. We've always had a lot. We have always had a shitload of guns in this country. All right. I saw the statistics earlier. We had proportionally more guns per person in the 60s. There weren't that many mass shootings. Instead of marking them by, which decade they took in, the 1960s shooting or whatever, essentially, like that kind of concept, we have to, they get dated more specifically, but they're like, this shooting in this city that happened on this day, and then another one that happened like 3 weeks later that was a mass shooting on this day. Mass shootings have gone up, and gun ownership has spread thinner. More people have more guns. Well, actually, more right-wingers have more guns. He did in the trans ban. Okay. But yeah, gun issue I'm not as big on as far as that. Like don't touch guns. Fuck you. You can get a 30-round magazine for a fucking pistol. Make protections for LGBTQ Americans a top legislative priority. He hadn't done shit for that. Did do the trans military ban. Okay. This he actually is working on. I've seen some reports about addressing housing discrimination. This comes into the police thing, criminal justice. This comes into policing and court systems. Bias and implicit bias is really hard to fucking deal with, but you know what? You can try. And then voting rights, I've also seen that he's been working on stuff with that, especially with the Republican bullshit that they've pulled. And create a cabinet that looks like America. Yeah, kinda, yeah. Raise ethical standards and progress. It's not that much harder to raise ethical standards over who the previous president was, but over where we should be. or raising them to where we should be, yeah, that is going to be a work in progress for quite some time. Work across the aisle to find the bipartisan compromise. Well, he's definitely been fucking doing that. Something to mildly criticize him for. Okay. That's fair. That's actually a fairly decent assessment. And some of the ones that they claim are in progress, like now they have some that they've were like not started. Kept in progress, kept in progress. Largely kept in this, yeah. Okay. Yep. So, largely kept? Yeah. Not kept. Okay, yeah, see. Not kept, not kept. So, overall, first 100 days, C minus, D plus, in that range. As far as, like, how much he's actually kept with his promises. I guess, like, I don't know. I guess he'd have, like, yeah, it'd be like a, yeah, 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 about a D plus, C minus. 68 to 70%, somewhere around there. So I can't, now as far as, has he done nearly anything of significance to where like how would I grade his performance overall as far as accomplishing severe goals? Solid D minus, maybe a D. Like I don't want to put him in the F category because he could be doing far worse. But as far as like addressing the major issues that we're facing, he's lacking pretty fucking heavy, I'd say. He could turn it around, but he ain't there. He hasn't addressed the major issues. He hasn't done what we actually need him to do. Okay, I'm gonna have to turn off that. I'm gonna have to close that, and I'm probably gonna have to close these as well. Try and get my. What is this doing? Why? They need to turn off their goddamn Wi-Fi. Stop using my shit. Streaming in here. They're eating up all my Wi-Fi bandwidths. I'm hardwired in. I don't understand that. Stream is experiencing minor issues. Dropped a shitload of frames. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. No, whatever. Been live for like 2.5 hours now. So, I guess I could do a recap because it is 8:30. All right, brief recap. I kind of laid out a super basic breakdown of different characteristics of some different economic systems. Now, this most basic one, but these I'm pretty sure I could describe to like a fourth grader using a little bit of more explanatory language. I could expand this a little bit into a small document, like a small Google Doc, and it would be like literally economic systems for fourth graders. That's it. So, just with some clarifying text so that people know what they're talking about with it, such as what a commodity is. You just change some of this language around a little bit. Means of production, workplace, private ownership of business, public ownership of business, as in the people who work at it. All of the people who work at it own it, not when the government owns it. So this is a super basic like layout of characteristics that you can find, or characteristics of, or I guess you could say identifying features or tenets of these different economic systems. Now, anarchism's more than an economic system, but now so is socialism and communism, but they are largely also economic systems. Anarchism is more of like an entire philosophy of how you should be, and mutual aid is pretty much the only economic philosophy that I've come across. Anarchism I need to read up a lot more on. Overall, I like the philosophical concept. Abolition of unjust coercive hierarchies, but how we get everything to work. I think it's a whole bunch of like worker councils and worker co-ops, and like you elect representatives from your worker co-op to go and represent at the workers' councils, and they come back with like different propositions and agreements and shit like that that you all get to look over and vote on. Stuff like that. Pretty much the same thing that would happen under socialism, because as Bakunin says, Mikhail Bakunin, I believe it was in God in the State, he says to be a anarchist, one must first be a socialist. So the economics are pretty much socialism, but the philosophy is pretty much one sentence: abolition of unjust and coercive hierarchies. Now that breaks down into a whole bunch of different ways that you analyze things and shit, but that's a basic gist. Mutual aid is another part of it, but I consider that part of its economic theory, in a sense. You can essentially just like pass it forward is part of the mutual aid concept too. Like, somebody does something great for you, it's not that you do something great for them as well. In return, you could turn around and do something great for somebody else, as long as it moves along, as long as people get good. Yeah, get good. Anyway, like I said, I need to read up more into anarchist theory and stuff, because I've read a few people, but the meme is that I've read all theory, but I do need to look into more anarchist theory. Uh, so I've got all these different basic tenets. Participatory. I've heard some of participatory economic shit, and I think it's absolutely stupid. I think it's just the dumbest shit. So we went over that, and then we went over. I guess we just graded Biden some, and then we did this. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Gone over some random shit. Oh, we watched some. We kind of react-anded a little bit. And that's a recap of the general stream. I really do appreciate you for tuning in, honestly. All of you who are here. You are based. Even if I disagree with you on some points, if you're a leftist and you're here, you're pretty based. I appreciate you. So I'm about to get off of here. I've got company that has arrived, and I would like to take a break because I've been sitting here for 2.5, almost 2 3/4 hours. And yeah, my ass hurts from sitting here this long. Surely you understand. So I'm gonna be wrapping this up. I could probably do. Let's see. Let's do one more thing just to kind of get y'all ready to leave. It needs to be kind of short. Alright. We'll do a react on something. I don't have anything easily pulled up. Alright, here. We'll do this. We'll just... Yeah. Wow. Wow. That... I did not anticipate. Okay. Yeah. That... This is an instance where you are completely justified in clocking the shit out of somebody to get them to quit doing an action, because that is absolutely reckless. There were so many people that were in danger with that guy driving like that, or whoever that was, with that person driving away. Fuck no. 100% justified to jump into their car like that. Those feet first knocked them clean out, I'm pretty sure. It looked like they stopped. Hopefully they didn't die. I don't think anybody deserves to die for that. But why parking your car is too cheap? No. No. Pay for parking. I pay for the fucking infrastructure out of my tax dollars. Why the fuck do I have to pay to park? Get that shit out of here. No. What do you mean? So, if you don't think that it's justified to stop somebody from acting in that manner, I don't know, but I personally do. So, it's for the benefit of the other people, because there were like, what, 30, 40 people there who could have been run over by that car. That's bad. So, to reduce the potential harm, you remove the one person who could cause the greatest amount of harm from the ability to do that, which would be, in this case, to remove them from the ability to drive that vehicle. Now, are there multiple ways to go about it? Yes, and that particular instance was diving through the window and kicking them in the head, a Chad move. Also, yes. Super Chad. Alright. So, that's going to be all from me. If, another person just tuned in. Damn, and I was about to wrap up too. I really hate to do it, but yep, I've been here for far too long, and I am having my legs fall asleep as well as my ass hurt. See, 2 hours, 42 minutes. I'm not a full-time streamer. I work at a job that isn't YouTube or Twitch. No. So, I'm wrapping up. If you like the stream, follow, like, hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment, go watch some of the other content. I've got a pretty good couple of videos. I appreciate you for tuning in. Enjoy yourselves. I'm gonna go bully this Sam Wilkins. I have to go bully them offline. So, yeah, I'm gonna bully him. All right. So, y'all take it easy.